Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Up on My List. My name is Dan, and let's see if we are here today, and we are going to be working on the same map that we had made. If I bring that down, might be a little easier to listen to. We're going to be working on the same map, our big campaign map that we've been working on for the last couple days, last couple of streams. Today we're going to be working on defining the mountains a little bit more, defining the low spaces and high spaces, and just generally kind of reviewing what we've done, how we're doing it, and where we're going with this. So let's go ahead and get back started. This is the map we have been making. Again, the size of this is, we're looking at 36 inches by 24 inches at a pixel density at 450 dpi per square inch. Screen size is 16,200 by 10,800. So you can have a lot of fun with that. Let's go ahead and make sure we're all set to go here. Last time we went in and we kind of made these structures, these little mountain structures all through this, and let's grab some more here. Get down, and it turned out pretty good. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to be focusing on placing the low points and high points of this map. I mean, we've got some really cool little mountains and stuff. We kind of know where we want stuff, but we want things to be a lot more varied, and this is also going to help us define our mountains quite a bit more. So this previous layer we're going to merge down. Again, we're merging about 750 meg layers, since ArtRage not only combines the what you place where, it's how much of the material you place and how deep you place it. Also, if you're just joining, let me know on we've had a little bit of a problem with the mic. Let me know if that's working for you guys, or if I need to adjust that, or turn some stuff up or turn some stuff down. So let's go ahead. I've now made another layer on this map, just so we can go back if something goes horribly wrong here. Let's go ahead and start editing this layer. Now, when we originally planned this map, let's bring that up. We've gotten our continents, that's these red marks. We've also we're going to now look at where the water is coming from. So these green lines here, that's kind of where we're going with stuff. So we're going to use that in reference of erosion. Let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. Let's go ahead and get started. To do that, we're going to take our soft eraser. We're going to make sure it's very soft. Come on in here. Put it at, let's go about 300% of the 450. Let's go a little smaller, 250. It's not too bad. Okay, let's do that. And we're kind of going to work on these plains a little bit more. We have these really cool mountains, so we're going to make sure these go down a little bit. Go ahead and add some more pressure into that. We really want that to take there. And these are the lowlands. These are the really big areas that we're going to start developing here. Now, these are not where the rivers are, but this is where the wind and rain has started eroding. We're using that real-time effect that comes with ArtRage that we developed this technique around. And again, we're just kind of throwing this wherever we want to. These are just lowlands. This is going to give us a little bit of height variance. We're also going to use these to determine exactly where our big mountain ranges are once we really go in and define them. That's pretty much all we're going to do right here. It's going to take a while. Hope everybody's having a great job. Or excuse me, having a great day today. We're having a great job too. Enjoy what you do. And we're back in here. Same thing. Just kind of gently pushing. And I'm looking at my pen right now, and I'm going to be needing a new tip on it here soon. Just got a little cheapo Wacom stylus. And same thing up here. We're just kind of getting a feel, kind of placing stuff where we want to. And it doesn't have to be 100% accurate. It just has to feel right to you. Any map, it does possess a certain language in and of itself, a certain symbolic language. Right here we got kind of this cool little, let's just go ahead and keep that like that. Maybe some lowlands and stuff like that. And this is nothing big or serious. This is just we're kind of planning out where we want to take stuff. Over here, this area right here is the hottest. So we're going to not put too much erosion. These large different tracks. There we go. Up here, let's have, it feels like a nice little plateau right in this area. Let's keep that. Because we're adding so much mass into the canvas, we seriously have to keep an eye on that. Otherwise, it gets really kind of nasty. But again, that's all we're doing, just having a good time. So with ArtRage, it not only, like I said before, it not only keeps track of what type of paint you're putting down, but how much paint and what material it is. Right now, the material we're scraping through is like a good, you know, quarter-inch of just oil paint that we somewhat applied and taken off and applied again. We're just using our knife brush to scrap that out. Make some erosion lines, keep it kind of cool. Also trying to stay away, there's a lot of really cool features we put in this map last time. Like these mountains right here that I really want to keep, so I'm kind of staying away from those. Some of the details. Use that new little trick and pattern that we developed a little while back using height maps. There we go, get some more brushes. Yeah, nothing too crazy. Just this is our first pass with this. We want just to give us an idea of exactly where we want everything to be. And just this is the principle of detail, then after detail going into something bigger or something smaller. 1 second, I'm gonna do a quick sound check. I'm just gonna have my little compatriot here check the sound quality. I'm now really worried about that. Got these highlands up here that I really dig. Maybe there's some kind of this and that there. How are we doing there? Do we have any crackling going on, Mr. G? Some more in there. All right. Some more there. Again, just gonna detail this out a little bit. These areas are about, I'd say about 50 miles wide. Maybe 20 miles. A couple hundred long. So, got to keep that in mind for passing by these large. Again, I'm not pressing at all. I'm just running my brush over everything. There we go. Let's back out. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. All right, come back up here. We're now going to shrink this to about half the size, so we're going to go with 175 on here. And we're going to branch these. The closer we get to the oceans or the main bodies of water, we're going to branch these out with the delta. Just to give us a little bit more feel, a little more of a flavor on where stuff is. And when we're doing this, usually water trickles down and gains from tributaries becoming bigger. Since we're doing, though, it's almost a reverse. meaning the water and the erosion is going to be coming down out of here. It's actually going to be spreading just like I did right there. It's very important to remember that water normally doesn't behave that way. However, at times it does behave that way. If you're in an area where it's flat or there's a lot of sediment, debris, or anything else like that, you're going to get that quite a bit. Like the Danube River, or like parts of China and stuff like that. If you're just joining us for the stream, welcome. I'm Dan. We're just kind of making a big campaign map for a role-playing game, Avant Novus. It's just a tutorial, so sit back, enjoy. Let me know if you're seeing anything you want, or seeing if anything I need to change. Probably, now that I think of it, need to go change some stuff in Twitch. Let's do that right now. Might be thinking we're playing Vermintide or something like that. Might be thinking we're playing Vermintide or something like that. Just gonna switch. Might be thinking we're playing Vermintide or something. Yeah, hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's playing. No, it's the middle of the week. Or something. Yeah, hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's playing. No, it's the middle of the week. Or something. Yeah, hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's playing. No, it's the middle of the week. Or something. Yeah, hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's playing. No, it's the middle of the week. Or something. Yeah, hope everybody's doing. There we go. Yeah, everybody's all happy. And we're back live. Okay, let's get back to it. And we don't want to go too nuts with this. We're just remembering we're coming down from all that texture we made. Go too crazy, we're going to lose that texture, and we don't want that. There we go. And we're back in there. I need to turn this mic up. Had a little bit of problem. There was an update and totally messed up all my settings, so I'll probably need to up the sound, up the mic stuff here. Don't want to do that right now because it's not what you're here for. Just running these little capillaries all over the place when it gets down towards the ocean and towards the water. Start splitting those off like that. Again, I'm just kind of, I'm just throwing these where it feels good, staying away from any of the texture or any of the details we made previously. Got a crazy little valley like right there. Think of a little story that takes place in there that, I don't know, maybe there's a ancient, might have been one of those cradles of civilization, humanity right there. I'm just going to write that down. Say there's humans or, some people that live there. Don't see dwarves because we want to do stuff that's new. Maybe a stouter folk. This is kind of the warmer areas, so maybe they moved into there and settled there. Maybe they were nomadic tribes settled here. Yeah, maybe all this was nomadic, and then they decided to standardize in there. Trade occurred, and with trade comes leisure time, and with leisure time comes arts, crafts, and all that good stuff. Maybe for those people it's become like very sacred or a very important little spot. Just kind of make up as you go. I've gotten this little notepad right by me. It's amazing when you're working on maps, just these little things you think of. And yeah, so let's make that little place. We'll call that. Let me open up another little. I'm gonna open this up and just make a note of that. If you'll notice, as I'm doing this, I always will, the best and easiest way for me anyways, people, came in from this area and came in from this area, come in from that area. So you have this natural building block, and we'll have some ruins like over in this area, all through this. Maybe there's an ancient gate here, and maybe another gate here. So you have these two big gates. Maybe there's a pass there. It's just a little way to, keep your story going and keep doing what you're doing. Let's go back here. There we go. Get some of that in. Get some more of that in. Get some more there. Yeah, we're just thinking of ways, different areas of this map. The deserts area. Say this is all plains. Should just keep that little layer open. We're going to have this kind of a marsh, maybe? Or grasslands? Like grasslands. Throughout there. We've got this large agriculture region. We have this area that I think is really, really cool. Maybe travel. Maybe there's a giant city here. You have these other connectors. You have these light places. So maybe these were all united and linked up. As you can see, we're just starting to build a narrative on this map as we go. So these mountains here, I'm just going to switch to another color. Let's go with maybe this. It's going to be very, very high mountains. Probably our tallest. All right. So that's going to force a lot of people to stay in these valleys and stuff. All right, let's go ahead and get back to what we're doing. All right, back to it. So again, staying away from the details we did last time. Creating these just little tributaries that go up into stuff. Keeping the flat places flat, hilly places hilly. Since this area, we just decided that it's going to be our tallest mountains, we're going to actually add a lot of texture onto this. There we go. We're starting to ask ourselves, well, why are people trading? I mean, is it goods or exotic services they're looking for? Is it food? Is it materials? Does people just want to explore? What's facilitating that trade and causing people to go out of their homes and stuff like that? All right. Now that we've got that, we're gonna drop this down even more. Let's go down to about 100. On the very bottom of these, we're going to create the last little bit. Again, we're going to go a little bit counterintuitive to what rivers or valleys usually do. We're going to fork off like deltas, just like that. And we are pushing and playing stuff to go left and right. We're pushing stuff, pushing material downhill. If you screw up anything, don't worry. It's an easy fix. We are trying to keep away from any of these, like right here, we're trying to keep away from these. So we keep those details. Since this is our biggest mountain range, we really want to put some crazy detail into this. Let's go ahead and pull. We'll look at rain shadows a little bit later, because that's going to affect these mountains quite a bit. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and get started on. We're looking pretty good there. Of course, we have this big little area. Let's go ahead and open that up, and let's get some story going on here. So we have this large area here. So it comes down like this. Maybe it comes down like this. Of course, it's butts up against this mountain region. This region, this region. So these are this area is kind of secluded. And again, we have passes here. We have our land bridge that goes across there. You know, I think I am writing on the wrong. Oh, I sure am. Check that action out. Dopey me. That's why we do digital art. Okay, go back in here. So we have this area that's kind of secluded. It comes in like that. This area definitely hard to get through. We have this kind of big old mountains here that come up like this. We have this cool little river valley. Come up here, same thing up here. Pass right there. And you know what? We're going to keep some mountains here. So we kind of have this kind of flow of commerce. Let's make this color people, the way people travel. So you have an area that let's get something really crazy in there. There we go. You have a green and you have people flowing this way. Maybe purple. Yeah, let's do purple. If people moving this way through life, of course, there you got people coming in through here. You got people moving this way. Of course, people moving through that way, back and forth. You know, these more secluded areas. So this place is suddenly becoming a very, this place right here is starting to become a very important spot. And this one up here is starting to be a very important start with a narrative replacing. All right, let's go back down. Let's hide this and let's go ahead and start making, with that in mind, switch over to a different knife. We're going to go with Harsh Chaos. We're going to switch down. We're going to just drop the pressure a little bit. Let's go 250. Usually go 250 at this point just because it's safe. And we are just going to gently, let's increase the pressure, just find a happy medium. This will move stuff but not break stuff. Okay, just like that. You're looking for, you're just going back and forth just like that. You're not looking to get rid of details, you're just looking to enhance those details. See there? A little finger on the mountains. I'm going to start at the mountains and just pull this down as such. Start a mountain, pull it down as such. And we already got some really cool little valleys and stuff like that. And I'm trying to avoid straight lines. Let's drop this down to 200. So instead of these straight lines, we're getting these rounded. You can see that movement on that brush. Just rounded movements, nothing else there. There we go. Movements there. You start seeing the size of these mountains right here. We're going to add a ton more mountains right in this area. We're going to use that same method we did last time to add more mountains once we have an idea of where they're going, but now it's really starting to take shape. Taking shape on the details. Same thing over here. We're going to repeat this. This pattern we're going to repeat again and again and again and again. But again, this is all real time. This is all, we do 90% of our work in just one layer. We're not using any filters or anything like that. We're just using the natural lighting that comes with ArtRage. It also gives us a very awesome way that we can plan where stuff's at, where stuff is going to be. I've kept the color. Usually I don't put the color, but this time I did keep the color on these mountains just to give me a show on where stuff is. Already see we're getting some fun stuff there. A couple people joining us from Facebook and from Twitch. Welcome. And starting from the mountain area. Just gotta be careful that you don't dig in there. Otherwise you get these round stuff. Doesn't look very good. Down below here, I'm being very, very gentle like down here because I really want that. Usually adventure plane, you're looking around 25 miles to 60, 70 miles. In very rocky areas. So we're going to keep that in mind, keep that at a minimum. That's our minimum. Bigger areas can be thousands of miles. So we want to express that sight language, not with, we want to express that with height versus, height and texture. Right now we're just working on the height. We're just starting to add the texture. Again, down by the oceans, I'm just taking the brush and going and around little loop-de-loos like that. Making sure we keep the detail. So we have this isthmus here, this little peninsula. Well, it's actually a really big peninsula. That's this large mountain in the middle. There's a couple places. Let's go ahead in our notepad here. There's a couple places where if I'm going to mine, wrong layer. If I'm going to mine, I'm going to be bringing my mining down into this area like this. So we have another trade network going on there. And let's look at our map here. Think about that too. Maybe like this guy here, that's where these guys are getting some natural processes. So let's go back to our map and keep cutting away at it. When we think of something or we want just a quick little note, we'll just add those in there. Now I pulled out quite a bit so you can kind of see an overall, this little technique what I'm doing here, the distance. Again, this detail we're doing right now is very, very far out. We'll get some mountains going here in a second, and then once we're done with those mountains, we'll do this again at a smaller resolution, and we'll start adding rivers, all that good stuff. Again, little circles, itsy bitsy circles. And I haven't planned this map out. I'm not looking on a reference. This is just the natural order of things and how things would be, according to my understanding of the world and how it moves. I was watching an episode of, it's not my favorite show, but it brings a smile every now and then, Big Bang Theory, and they were talking about geology and how it's, it's crappy science. I always never thought that. And same thing. We're trying to steal it. Here's our valley. Let's get into this valley really quick because this little valley right here is important. I want to really pay attention to this. We have this really cool flat area here. Let's extend this flat area. If you're familiar with the western United States, there's this crescent just north of Utah, goes through southern Idaho, western Wyoming. It's this large plateau region, but it was very much a big highway for the early explorers and settlers of the American West. Maybe we'll just do that right there. I like that. Feels good. Maybe make some crazy passes. So like the natives would start wearing, let's go ahead and add these notes too. Just thought something else. Let's add another note set here. And maybe in this area, yeah, is this my sacred mountain? Yeah, my sacred mountain. You know, you're getting very much. So I can make this a little better. Your huts are going to be a little low to the ground, kind of Mongolian. The wind passes over. Just drawing a little hut here. Okay, and then maybe some tent poles to keep there. Those tent poles would basically develop into architecture like that, kind of pitched roof. Maybe a little bit of dome. If it's really crazy in that area, they're going to be underground a little bit, so they're dug in. So then you have these elaborate, you know, you push the material up on the banks of the side of these. You have these little houses that are kind of jutting like that. Again, this is just a scratch thumbnail. So maybe they're used as a medicine lodge. Maybe they're used by the people or a place for people to prepare and store food. I mean, it's just one of those little things that as you're developing your own map, you sit down and just make your world as you go. Now that's in my head, so every time I look at this that I've had that conscientious point, I go in there and I'm putting that note down and developing the world as I go along. Maybe all this area is kind of flat, plateauy, but maybe it's karst topography. Or the Yucatan Peninsula or parts of Florida. Got some really cool like mountain things here. I like that a lot. We're actually going to do more of that. To enhance that, I'm just coming up from the bottom of the map, pushing matter up into those mountains. There we go. Add some more right there. Some more right there. Wondering if they ever get snow up there. It'd be really cool if they did. Kind of freaky though. You have your adventurers or your party of people going up there, and all the natives have like this thick cloaks and still hot, and you're just like, what the heck's going on? A couple thousand feet. Oh, you know what the heck's going on. Again, we're taking our time with this, just pushing some clay around. We're just traveling up and down here. This big, large valley here that I'm digging. And this mountain, we're gonna shape that a little better. This needs help. It's kind of muddled. Again, with this, we're just moving mass. It's just like a giant mass, and we got a little scrubber that we're going back and forth on it. Now this huge little mountain range right here, we're really going to have to look at. Just creating some valleys. And we'll go back. A lot of the details are getting stretched out and moved, but it helps us create a more living world. There we go. Oh, look at what we've done there. Okay, cool. Very cool. Now let's go ahead and we're back here, and we're just gonna keep on doing the same old. This area we kind of want to make flat because we have that really important city. Maybe the people here is, yeah, let's go back to our map here. They dug giant canals. Bring this guy up. So maybe there's like a large, you know, you have these big old canal docks. So you'd have your overstructure that'd be like that, that'd be like that. Another little dock. Then you'd have your utility workers start, you know, you have your water in there. You have utility craftsmen doing these little tiny villages all along there. And eventually in the middle you'll get a large city. Put the city about right there. And we're back into it. We'll refine this a couple more times. We'll use our mountains. We're keeping the mountains we made last time as much as possible. Like some of these details we definitely don't want to go away. Like right here, that's awesome. And yeah, that's why you save a lot and make a lot of different layers. I'm in this area where it goes a lot more grasslands. I'm starting to go back and forth versus circles. You can see the different texture you're getting from that. Just back and forth. We didn't do much up here, so I'm not worried about it. Actually, grasslands are a lot. In my opinion, they're fun because you just can go nuts. All right. So we have this area, this area. Let's come back over here. Now this area is going to be kind of interesting. We're going to make this a combination of highlights and low areas. So we're going to use both techniques. Once we get down about halfway, we're going to push a little bit harder because we want this like rolling. We want it like maybe a Rome feel to it. I'll stay away from the Romans thing. I think that's overdone. Frankly, in this time and age, I don't want to be reminded about imperialism. So we're going to go back and forth, circles and then back and forth, circles, then back and forth. Stay away from those mountains that we made. There are ways to save those. The next step I'll show you. Like right here, we're going to stay away from those. Using this harsh chaos brush, it also is going to blend. So like right there, that's no bueno. So we're just going to create some little dither there. Blend it up there. See? Just like that. That's all you have to do. Quick erase and you're done. And any of the tools I show you on ArtRage are based on the presets that come with ArtRage. Nothing crazy. Always keep my settings up so you can see exactly what I'm doing. It's also, if you make a video diary of what you're doing here, it really is going to help you in the future. There we go. Got these little lakes. Keep these where they are. This one's tricky because I want to keep these and everything else, but still I want this to be very rolling and a very happy little landmass. Totally just killed a mountain there that I didn't want to, but I don't think I have an option there. I'm going to run these down to get to, if it looks like, really starts looking like that, a straight line, just go back and forth with it, just like that. And we're staying away from those mountains that we spent so much time on. Circles the blend, back and forth the texture. All right, cool. Very, very cool. Maybe this area is a lot more isolated than normal. 41 minutes into this. I hope everybody's that's on's doing good. I'm definitely doing good. Found some wonderful little vitamins, and it's really helping me get going. Fortunately, a little bit of an idiot, so I have to find things out for myself. Recently, I found out how important a good breakfast is. If you don't have a good breakfast, you're not going to move too fast during the day. So, my mom's getting on in years. We went out with her. Me and my son went out with her, and we had a breakfast, got some medical appointments done, and we generally had a good day of it. Stuff there, stuff there. Also, for those community members on our Facebook page, I'm glad a bunch of you are back from vacations. I've missed you. Big shout outs to a couple of you. I really, someone took some time to say some very kind things, and I have to tell you guys that just totally blew me away. I can't So people said they really appreciated what I did in these little videos. And granted, I'm technically doing this for a project, but it's also helping some people out, kind of learn from me and how I do stuff. And some people have taken some time and said some really wonderful, kind things that it really helped. It really, and it was just, something really small and something kind of minuscule, but someone, I really appreciate that. That just helped me so much. Right now, we're almost at 150 subscribers. Excited about that. Again, one of our missions here with Ava Novus is to inspire, inspire the people, inspire the community. Okay, I'm actually gonna do something real cool right here. We're gonna come in like this. Just switch. I grabbed my pen and I just turned it over, just to get a little bit more detail there. There we go. You can do that with a mouse. Just be careful. The mouse, you're going to be constantly adjusting your pressure. Really, I don't know how much they run. I can look, but the tablet that I have, it's the cheapest little tablet. It doesn't require, it's just a little tablet I keep on my desk. It's been with me for years. I've gone through like 40 tips of pens on it. Only cost me like, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks. I have wielded it. I absolutely adore it. Back up here, down back in here. I'm just moving some paint around. So we're working with oil, it's very viscous. So look at that. All right. We're getting there. We are definitely getting there. There's some parts I'm going to kind of shave down a little. See, like right here, we're going to keep that detail, but I don't want it to go too extreme. Right now, we're just going to maintenance stuff. Keep that detail we made last time. Go in and hit other stuff. Let's get some notes here. Let's talk about some habitat. Let's talk about, I want to do something sales. I like sales and stuff like that. So we have this wind. The green represents where the wind's coming from. So if it's coming from south up into stuff. Okay, so if we're using wind to create pumps, I'm going to grab yield marking brush. So in this area, I'm thinking like, yeah, right through this area, we kind of have, oh, that's definitely not on the right layer. Oopsie, my bad. In this area, we have this large area. We have wind coming up through here. So I think we're going to just have, some crazy little windmills. Maybe that turnabout sail. Find in like China. Based on that. Maybe there's two of them and they have, so we get all this kind of stuff and they're all facing this way. It's really bad stick figure drawing I'm doing there. You get the idea. So we have these windmills that are facing this way. You got the water coming down from the mountains. So approacher, if you like flying in through here, or ice ship, you'll just see these giant windmills that stack, and your cities are probably going to run up these areas here. Just making, getting some work done with the winds. And so we're going to have some forests up in this area, and it's going to be extra cool. So down here, we got this big mountain range. Let's go ahead and make a note of this giant mountain range there. It's going to be kind of rough to get over, but we have kind of a peak. Kind of have this guy here. Again, it's just a way. We got a mountain, but we got a valley here. The valleys are becoming very, very important. So there's going to be a lot of overland trading. It looks like that a great deal of this map is overland trading. Let's go ahead and make sure our marks are. We have people coming through here. We have people coming through here. I don't know about this though. I think there's something weird here going on here. I have some nasty mountains or something. So let's just kind of put a little, something bad there. A little angel of death there. And we'll come back to that. Maybe this area is, there's bad stuff here that is, keeping people from traveling into that area, so they have to go around. I kind of like that. So we'll put some more mountains there. Okay, let's go back to the map. There, come in here. Again, I'm going in right now. I'm pulling quite a bit back, and I'm just going to the top of where these little valleys begin. Just running my brush back and forth so it blends with those mountain details. Just try to stay off some of those cliffs we made. We're starting to get some really cool cliffs and stuff. And we'll further refine that in this next step. There we go. That was really cool valley. I'm going to make a note of that right now. That's really cool valley right here that it's becoming something very dynamic. Let's yeah, this one's important. Oops. Always do that. Oh, please hit Control Z instead of Control X. Okay. Bill, how are you? Excellent. I stayed up a little bit earlier last night just to make sure we're going. Bill, just kind of review. We're going through the map, and we're actually, as you can see with all these marks, by doing the map, I'm planning, kind of actually starting to really world build here. And right now we're kind of talking about where stuff is, how it formed. Everybody online, yeah, you probably listened to, well, yeah, we do this, and all of a sudden, a friend gets in here and I get all excited. Talking about how people would move through this area, what's blocking them, where things are going, and all that. So we have just getting our movement down. Again, we have these people coming in. This area right here is going to be important. So let's go ahead and mark that as, this might be a feature, maybe a big something there. I think this area down here, we're going to be, this entire area here, we're going to say is kind of separate. Kind of secluded, because you don't, you got this major transition, this, you have a lane right here, then you have a lane right here. Okay. All right, let's get back to it. Okay, we're back in here. There we go. Hard part with a map like this, and the hard part of doing something this big, I mean, this is going to be like, the size of Eastern Asia, is that you really have to think in scale of how big things should be. Like right now, this little mountain I'm working on, that's like 400 miles a mountain. Luckily, when we zoom in, we get kind of that, but still, that's a lot of, you're going to have to add some hills and other stuff like there to make it look good. And that's what I'm just going in and doing. I'm trying to break up, getting to the coast, going back and forth for texture. And going in these smooth areas, just going back and forth. That nice little ripple there. hard part right here is that you also have to remember the more paint you're pushing out from away the coast, the more area of the coast you can't go in and edit. So I'm being very stingy on how much paint I'm manipulating in that area. Except for these rivers, these inner lakes. I'm hitting those now because that's going to help me define the mountains in this next bit. We're going to do this in two different ways. This next part, we're going to do what I do traditionally, and we're also going to do some stuff I have been experimenting with. I will show you how I've done this in the past, and then we can fire this up and we can have a look at how kind of new technique I'm working on. That on some project it's worked, some projects it hasn't. But yeah, we're getting there. Let's go back and dive in there and do that now. Before I go any farther, I'm just going to save this. All right. So with ArtRage, again, it's the file I'm saving is about 1.5 gig. Each layer's somewhere between 750 megs and 250 megs. And for each layer, it's, it's not only a colored pixel, but ArtRage puts your canvas, which has its own dynamics, and then a wet mass, and then another mass, then another mass. And that's how you get that real-time feel, and that's why it produces that. If you go in there with a watercolor brush, you're going to get watercolors, the feel of watercolors, the same viscousness of it. If you have oil paints that run into that watercolor, you're going to get the same. It's going to simulate that same physical connection. Same with chalk, same with the roughness of the canvas and stuff. You can set all of those. And it's for oil painting, for stuff that I use this for at home or whatever. I absolutely adore this. It's a bear though, but if you want to really, one of the best parts of ArtRage is to get in there and change some stuff up. Just notice I got a little message from Steam. I do not know why Steam's open right now, so let's go ahead and close that. Right now on screen, we're just waiting to save. It's going to take a little while. Key is just to be patient, not stress. We'll just get there. Also had some questions about setup. Let me show you. This is OBS. This is my little setup for OBS. I have my little channels. I have my little other things like that's live, pre-shows, other things like that. You can download this for free if you want to stream or record. I might do a video on that. The thing I like about OBS right here, and you've kind of seen me in a. There you go. Woo! What you're seeing here is I have my channels here, my audio channels. I have all my inputs. Anytime I have pretty much anything. In my splash screens, you can see the green screen effect. My camera's not the best thing, but it's something that it works. Let's see how we're doing save-wise. Now we're getting there. But I actually use this as a recording equipment if I'm on an art project, and it actually works really quite well. So I can record and see what I'm doing, see how things are going there. Let's see here. Again, we're just waiting for this to save. Once you get past like 3-4%, it goes quite fast. To answer a question from Mixer, this is for the map specifically we're working on is for it's for a role-playing game we're working on. We're just creating content, something we thought we'd do since we're trying a different approach with our content is make it very accessible community-wise. That way everybody can go in and have some fun with it and contribute, because that's, in my mind, how it should be. Yeah, there we go. See, it's starting to move. Just give it some time. I've actually got a pretty, well, it's okay rig. For the graphic design stuff, it's a good rig. 16 and a 4. Yeah, just waiting for it to get done. But this is for our role-playing game. This is going to be one of the core. This is one of 4 landforms in the set, one of the main settings. And we're looking roughly about the size of Eastern Asia. So the Gobi Desert there, all the way into China, down into Thailand. Not really Thailand, but oh yeah, Thailand, North Australia. So kind of that same size and same area. When we get really close, all these little nicks and things, we're going to retexture these, make those into individual mountains once we're going to be kind of doing this little thing eventually. But you can see the scale and stuff like that. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to jump down. We're going to actually open up a new layer. We are going to, this is going to be me doing stuff traditional, how I usually do it. We'll open up a new layer, go to our tools, go down to our, tools, layer options. Gives us a lot of layer options, blend mode, and we're going to hit add, because add's going to put whatever paint we put on this layer to the top of this. Maximum means if we put paint there, it goes to the maximum level on that layer, but not into the layer above it. But we want to do add because we want to make sure that we're adding stuff onto this, and it just remembers exactly how high it is. Next up on this, we're going to choose a brush with mass. To do that, one of my favorite ones is this glitter brush. Again, glitter is the herpes of arts and crafts. We're going to drop that down to 25 glitter size. We're going to come up pretty thick with this. I'm going to choose kind of a, that works. We'll go with that. Maybe a little lighter. Crap, now I'm going to spend the next, hour and a half choosing paint colors. Everybody likes when I do that. Let's go with that. That's good enough. Okay, since we have this large mountain area, we're going to start, and again, this is on a totally new layer. This is how I did it before. We're going to start placing. So let's do something a little different. Let's go with a gray so it stands out. There we go. This is going to be the peaks of our mountains. Okay. The pixel size of these right now, since this is such a large map, you're looking at 25% of 240. Let's just jump into that really quick. So yeah, my pixel size right there is 112. And we're just going to go smaller. We'll just keep on getting smaller from there. Hey Bill, welcome back. So what I'll do is on this mountain range right here, I'll do this. This is what I usually do previously for the mountains. Then I'm going to play with some more brushes. But so this is kind of the crest of our mountains, or where the plate tectonics that we are when we find it. And this is the plan. It's crazy, psychotic. We have this plate boundary right here, and there is a upward subduction. There's, the opposite of subduction zone right here. So that's what we're going to emulate. But we're going to stay away from this area right here. We're only going to come down and put our mountains right here in this area. And we're trying to keep the detail we made last time. So don't go too hog wild. And everything we do now at this point, we're going to save multiple layers. It's the nice thing about this, if one of the layers doesn't work for us, we can always bring in another, combine them, have, create a bunch of really organic, happy accidents. Effects like glitter and ArtRage. The effects down here, right here, you have your, each one of these are a different type of medium. First one is, of course, your oil, then watercolor, the knife, airbrush, hard art pen, pencil, roller, magic marker, which I use way too much, and ink pen. The ink pen's really fun. Then you can go in and create your own, pretty much any brush you ever wanted or needed. That's the newest feature with 5. You have an acrylic brush. Stickers are fun. This is just alpha stickers that you can put on something. The glitter brush right here, this is just random glitter that they just put in here for giggles. But apparently it's, when it comes to just putting mass or like a jitter and stuff, it works really well. And you can switch it up. You have a square, if you can see down here. Well, let me really get in here. So you have the circle glitter. You have a very bubbly glitter. You have this kind of chaosy glitter. I use this for like textures for deserts and stuff like that. Is it on your presets? Usually your presets is like right down here. Again, this is the generic, what I use, all the tools that comes with it. But it probably looks like this when you get into it. Just boom, boom. And also your settings has everything right there. I just know that triangle at 25 with pressure and glitter size big gives me the best resolution for these kind of mountains. Are you using, which version of ArtRage are you using there, Bill? Since it's 5, it should be there. Stickers, nope, not doing any stickers, no stencils. Interface mode is just on classic. And classic mode panels are all on, if that helps for the view. Tool settings are up, preset color samples and everything else. That's my setting right there. I'll leave that up for a few seconds. Interface is classic, and all my panels are on. Yeah, okay, yeah, it should, yeah, you're up to date. So check out, go into view and just check this out. Interface. If I'm doing this like, does it look like, if it looks like that, that's usually how I work. But for these tutorials, I always go into the classic mode just so people kind of see where it is. Is it not there still? Let's just pop back down into this. It's kind of distracting because you have all these little menus just kicking around. Also, if you hit it, double click. No, double click doesn't work on this. Down in there. We're going to finish up these mounds really quick. See if there's anything else that we can help there with. But again, if I switch over my brush, like I'm in oils, it's going to switch over to my presets and then my settings. Of course, I can select whatever I need to. Or if, like in the glitter, if I'm changing the brush, I know that what I want to do is square glitter size there, and this needs to be 25%. Okay, back to it. We had a friend in our chat. They had a question about some settings, so we definitely want to make sure that that is addressed right then and there. All right, so we got that large mountain area. Then we have this guy here. Let's go ahead and get this. Just again, we're doing peaks. This is going to be the highest of our peaks. And let's take a look at a rain shadow. Let's see which direction stuff's going, because that's going to tell us. Okay, so rain smacking up into there, so erosion is going to be happening on this side towards the ocean. So you're going to get a lot of, this will technically be smootherish, and this will technically be rougher. So let's remember that. So towards these inner seas is rougher, is tox goods, and towards the outer sea is smoother. So we're going to kind of change the direction of all these. Granted, we'll have a little more canyons in this area. But right now we're just working on the crest of it. Any luck there, Bill? Have you found those yet, man? Then I'm up here. There we go. Just gonna bring this range down here because I like that. Let's say we got another range just coming down here. We just got another little where those high spaces are. I'm gonna leave these textures in here. Okay, sweet, good. Whew. This kind of scares, like, oh no, I recommended this product and it's not working for you. Ah! Just gonna complete our mountains like this. We're not going to go too crazy with mountains. Usually I do like big mountains, but that's not needed with this map. So we have one there, one there. Let's kind of come up here. These, and we're gonna whittle these down a lot more. So let's go ahead and do that now before we put another layer. This is kind of extreme. So again, I start in the ocean. Oh, yeah, no worries. I start in the ocean and I move the jitter up towards the mountains, and it creates this nice little blend. Just like that. Again, circle for blending, back and forth for texturing with your harsh chaos brush. There we go. There we go. Got a nice ridge line there. Yeah, we killed kind of some details from last time, but our needs right now is a little more important than our needs last time. So we're going to continue on these. I'm just looking for the tallest part of these mountains. Making sure that we're getting them. I also talked to a couple people at the forums, and I want to see if they got some interesting plans for the new update. They said they didn't go into details. They said there's things that people are going to like. Let's go ahead and I'm going to now add some more little offshoots here. We're going to stay away from these. Oh, I like this little plateau area. And we kind of, in our little diagram of where things are, let's go ahead and open that really quick. Yeah, you got a lot of mining here, so we're just going to go in and put a lot of, so this rich vein, so these mountains are probably very old, been weathered down, so you're not going to get too much of them. But you have access to some strata along here that has been preserved. These haven't been ripped apart by glaciers. So we're going to be very reserved with these mountains and not go hog wild with these. Just very light. Just like that. And that, of course, is going to bear their mineral load. And people are going to get all kinds of excited because they can get some ores. Bill, I didn't read your message last week. Wait, which one? Oh, next week. No, I didn't get your message about next week. I've been running around doing appointments today, and I'm sorry I missed that. There. All right, let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at that. Let's get rid of this chop. All right. Groovy. All right, let's go ahead and This I'm going to leave alone. I like that right there. Just like that. Maybe just put a couple in there. Come down here, another one in here. I will. Oh, through messages. Do. See then. Oh, good. Derp. Yeah, I've got this restream thing, so I have like 5 different chats open right now. So I'm just finding your message. Sorry about that. Let's get back in there. I'll check it out, Bill. Second I can. Found it. Good. Oh, I got distracted. Okay. We have this big valley here, and this one we've said is going to be very important to us. So we're going to really focus on accentuating this valley. Maybe have this giant mesa right here. And right in this area, we're going to have a couple more mountains. We have these little fingers coming down here. Maybe down here we have another mountain, because we want to funnel people down this way, not this way, to match our kind of concept we made. So we're just going to throw a little bit of mountain right there. Keep things consistent. Again, let's go back to our planning layer. Yeah, I see. Oh, no, we have people there. Yeah, that's why I check. Let's go ahead and erase these then, because we actually want people to go through there. We'll have another valley right there. If I was going to be a tyrant or a dictator, I'm going to set up shop right there. Control land passage. I'll protect my people. So we're going to have this. We're going to put a little dot right there for a village. I just totally changed the color of my mountains right there. So we're going to have a village right there. Oh, not there. Let's go someplace else. Okay. Let's go back to what we're doing. Yeah. We're setting. Pretty close guesstimation. All right. Zoom out. Okay. Cool. There we go. We're just going to keep these like this. This area, I don't need to do much. I mean, it's maybe right here. We just have this cool plateau. Those are those Yorks we were talking about. Yorks? Give me if I mispronounce something. Other big mountain ranges right here. Let's go hit that really quick. This one was the crazy one. If anything, this one needs some work. So let's start with our main ridge line. This texture we want to stay away from. We like this texture. We just want to make a couple high points here. But we want to be very careful because we have this cool little thing right here. We got this cool little valley. All we need to do is add some peaks. Like right here, we definitely want something. Because we're thinking like, maybe it's like a Nazca Valley of the Wind kind of thing. Large peaks, windmills, kites. Maybe they have giant communities, certain types of crops on kites and stuff like that that just hang there. Maybe they catch like some type of sky jellyfish in those nets, or use it to pollinate trees if there's not. Maybe that's how they do it. So if we have any mounds, we just want to have them just come down like that. You know, just kind of thinking crazy like. I have this big pass. I'm gonna put this another mountain system right here. Again, we're kind of just filling that in to meet the concept and some of the ideas we've been playing with. There we go. And maybe something right here. Now don't go too crazy with it. Do something right there. That's probably two mountain ranges that look good. Let's come down here and just kind of spruce this up a little bit. There we go. Bill, I'm sorry. If you'll text me on Facebook, I'll be able to see exactly what you need or anything else I can do there. There we go. Come down here. We're just adding little ridge lines. Okay. Just a couple little ridge lines. Mounds are the universe's lightning bolts. I like that right there. That's cool. This I don't like, so we're just going to put something there. Again, we have this really good texture we have underneath anything. We want to preserve that texture as much as we can. We're just adding peaks. We'll go in and we'll fix color up here. Maybe just some little deposits of heavier ore here and there. Nothing big. Yeah, but this right here, I love this stuff right here. You know what? I can't do better than that little thing we did last time, so let's not mess with it. Okay, cool. Remember, it's always easier to take away. Excuse me, it's always easier to add than take away. So don't go too nuts. You can always add another layer. I'm telling myself I'm going nuts at the same time. Oh, and this guy down here, this mountain needs to be, this little ridge here is important. Again, these little lines here, these are going to be the biggest mountains. Anything bigger than these is no-no. So we'll have to go in and edit some of these regardless. Okay. Cool. I want to change the color of these, so we're going to lock the transparency. Let's grab color underneath it. We're looking with kind of a rusty tan. We'll go with that. Well, let's see. Just with my selection tool, just finding a nice there. Let's go with that. I'm going to come down and just add that sample. We come with our airbrush. No pressure. Excuse me. A little bit of pressure. And let's go a little brighter. I'm having a hard time seeing those. There we go. Well, too bright. There we go. That's good. Just going to run this over real quick to pick up these. Once we actually color the map in its final colors, we'll paint everything one color and then go in and fix this up. You can do it this way. I just prefer, for my own, weirdness, I prefer having just one going in and controlling every little stupid detail as much as possible. Again, this is one of the maps we're focusing on. This is one of our big ones. Yes, we can do this in an hour, but not with this detail. Well, thanks, Bill. You know what? I've been really enjoying doing these live streams. I really enjoyed it. I like talking to you guys too. Got some really cool people here today. If you're just joining us on Twitch or Mixer or Facebook or YouTube, welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and there we go. Not too bad there. I'm going to drop the transparency of this down to about 75. The opacity on this one to 75 so I can see what I'm about to do with these mountains a little bit better. Now we're in that. All right. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to lock this. I'm going to lock this transparency. It's still locked. I'm going to come in with my knife brush. I'm going to go down to our instant blur, and I'm going to be very careful with this because the blur is kind of OP, massively OP. I'm going to keep this about 150, and I'm just going to very lightly go over. Now let's bump that up maybe to 15, 12, 15. There we go. All right. I'm just going to run that blur up and down these. This is going, and you're just doing it once. I know this looks weird, but trust me on this. Well, don't trust me. See what I'm doing first and find out if I'm not a crack. It always bugged me when someone said, trust me. And I'm like, I don't know you. I need an adult. There you go. Then once we're done with this, we'll go back in and start shaping these. A little bit more. It's another thing with ArtRage if you're working on it or with other programs. Play with your opacity. Fun stuff really happens. Here we go. Also like to give a big shout out to our friend Jon, who's down in Spain. I hope you're having the time of your life working on photography. OneTabletop.com. We're not affiliate. They're friends. He's a great guy. Check out his stuff. He's an awesome Patreon. Good peeps. And again, I'm just doing little circles here, pressing a little bit hard on the pen, kind of leaning into it a little. Make sure I hit every and each one of these. What this is doing, it collects the mass of the paint towards the top of, with it locked, it's going to grab the top of the paint and lock it into those mountain regions that we just made. Let's go ahead and zoom in. We have instant ridges there. Then what we're going to go, once we're done with that, we're going to go in and we're going to unlock this. We'll blend them in, see if we like that, and then apply it to the next layer, and then start on our very, very retentive details with this. I would like to explore that little technique we've been kind of playing with. Probably run this stream for another half hour or so. And with this specific map, I'm only going to be working on this map on this stream. So I'm not going to be doing any outside little projects. I probably will be getting everything together and do a time lapse. Might even, yeah, you know, I'll probably go on to the avantnovus.com, and maybe in the future I'll just get my settings, plug up how to do stuff. It's actually a pretty good idea. Put up my notes so everybody that's using like ArtRage or anything can see what I'm doing there. There we go. Again, take the time. Don't rush this part. You should get into a very happy little meditative dance with this. Not too much. I usually find audiobooks are the best thing. Just trust your eyes. I made a video a couple weeks ago about some ways to help improve your hand-eye coordination when going in zombie mode. Like that. Okay. Got our good ridge lines. I'm happy with that. Hope you guys are happy with that. What I'm going to do right now is actually duplicate this layer, just so I have a backup. Excellent. Excuse me. I'm going to hide that layer. I'm going to go in this layer. Going to unlock this layer. I'm going to put the opacity of this. Let's go back to 100. So we can kind of see what we're doing. Again, I'm going to be working in the layer above this. I'm not blending anything, just working in the layer above this. I'm going to go in with the harsh chaos. Instead of going side to side, I'm actually going to bust out the map. Excuse me. Go to 250% of the pixel size. I'm just going to sneak up on these mountains. It's going to give me these little blots. That's okay. That's actually what we want. The reason I'm doing this is to show what this should look like. Let's pull up this guy so you can see the... You can kind of see the layer right there that's originally there, and you can now see how I'm blending it. So again, I'm going in, I'm trying to keep well away of, just making sure that hits, just blotting the paint there. That's why you don't go too nuts at this portion of it. How that's going to look once we're done should look something like this. Nice ridge line, just like that once we're done with it. So this part's probably freaks me out every time I do something like this. You can kind of see with that gray. Just going in very slowly and creating these ridge lines. And using that specific type of head on this brush. I find myself, I had my own settings and everything like that, but I find that this, the basic tool of ArtRage works for me so much better than some of my previous settings. So I just always come back to a consistent tool that I know is exactly, I know what it is going to do every single time. Just using the mouse going in so I get it pulls the same amount of mass from those and spreads it out. You can see like right here, if we get really down into it, see there's kind of that green line. Kind of want not have that green line. Just kind of splitting that up and moving that texture. So you get this texture upon texture upon texture upon texture. Usually with any of these, I'm gonna pretty much get the idea of what I'm going through there. I'm gonna fast forward really quick so you guys can see the end result, because right now this is probably like this looks very destructive. It's actually working quite well. Let me pull it out here. Okay, so we just got done with this line. If we lock this transparency and we come in with, let's say, kind of a nice green here. Get our eyedropper out. That's maybe too dark for green, but that's fine. Matching what's in the back. I'm gonna have to blend this all day. Come on. Grab another dropper and get a little closer to it. Usually I color everything the same color, but you can see what's going on there. And if I, let's actually do this. I'm going to merge this down. We'll undo this once I'm done. I'm going to make sure my metallic doesn't go anywhere above or below 20. Above 25, 20 is kind of the magic sweet spot. So what I've done by doing that, you can actually see I've gotten these nice little ridge backs. And it creates this darkness, it creates these darker shadows, so when you really get in there, you actually have the various strata of the mountains. You can actually see the little tiny underlays and the little tiny other things. And then we can go in there and, of course, blend that even more if we want to. It's just that layer on layer effect. So I'm going to step back and we're going to go explore what we've been doing recently. Ease now. Easy. Be very gentle with this. And then we'll start, when we start coloring this, the highest points will actually start with a kind of a light gray and then just go from there with everything. What I'm going to do now, we've got some alpha brushes that I'm just been trying to incorporate into ArtRage just to see what I can get away with. Got that guy. I'm going to delete some of these layers here because this looks like on my notes we're at about almost 2 gigs, and that's one hell of a file size. Yep, sorry, language. All right, jump back in here. These are from Tabletop RPG, these brushes. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to change these into a really nasty color. So then find places that I want to add a little bit more peaks, like kind of filling in these peaks right here. And I'm thinking if we can get this trimmed down and figure out a way exactly how to do this, it's going to save us a lot of time. And if we do it right, it's actually going to look better than I've hoped for this. And if it changes up my style, so be it. And again, these are brushes that I'm just controlling the size and spread with my pen. Keeping it in what we just did with our concept. Little tiny ticks of this. I'll go over it with one brush. Make sure that it rotates randomly. Come back down here and do the same thing over here. Kind of keep that same craziness going that has been working. Oops, not that. Here, we'll do something like that. Let's come up to here. A little Nazca Valley thing going on here. But again, just a way make your painting look different here and there. I'm not being too careful with these because I technically really don't have that much control with how these brushes are placing their paint. So I'm just kind of relying on the happy accident effect of all this. Go down here and do the same thing down here. That's what we did previously. There we go. There we go. Let's choose another one. I like these ones where it's very light contrast and have these really dark spots or sudden lines. This one's great. I love this one. It's kind of big though, so we're going to use it kind of sparingly. But again, keeping our concept, keeping those important river valleys that trades kind of flowed down. We're going to keep that in mind. Otherwise, our design becomes muddled and we only have 1 or 2 areas that we think are important. So we're designing a world, not our favorite parts of the world. There we go. And it looks like a clown made it into an art store. Okay, let's play with that. We're going to lock that transparency. We're going to come in with Yield Glitter Brush. I'm going to actually, let's keep it on, let's put this on Easy Dirt. We're going to make the glitter size as big as possible. We're going to come in and grab a, not that brown, let's find a different brown. Yeah, I like that one. Okay. Again, making sure we go to layer options. Most important part at this point is make sure that your bump blend mode, again, tools, layer options, bump blend mode, and add. That way, whatever you add on this image is the highest point of the image. Again, you can change the color to whatever you want. That's doing exactly what I want, like that. I like that. I'm really digging these. Now, I don't have the same amount of control, but I went back to the square brush. There we go. That's what I want. I don't have the same level of control here, but I'm getting some really natural shapes that I really like. Now later, in a couple of, when I can get around to it, I have another video series that we're going to come out. And there's ways you can actually take the elevations with ArtRage and put it into a height map that I really want to explore more. See that right there? My only complaint with, it's the best part of these brushes and the worst is I don't have the control of putting a mountain exactly where I want it with these little alpha brushes. That's my only complaint, and it's really not that much of a complaint. So we get into this area, and that's bad. We don't want that. That's a no-no. So let's be aware that we don't want too much mass in that. Like these dark spots, we're going to have to really keep an eye on. In fact, I'm just going to chase that. Go very slow on that. I think these brushes, my recommendation is you're going to be using these brushes. Grab a stylus so you can control flow. Then we'll go and mix these together. But yeah, right there, some crazy fun little things going on. Something right there. And build up stuff. I like when the brush is really, like right here on these brushes, I don't like it because it goes really fast. You want to really slow up here, just building up that mass underneath everything. I'm really loving the effect I'm getting from those. And when it gets overly dark there, that means we're reaching a point where the paint's there's so much paint there that it's actually changing. Your shadows are deepening to a point that it's not what we really want. I'll show you how to fix that here in a second. Kind of want a coarse texture on this. We want to use the square to build it up, but when we go back and fix these, we're going to go with a different, little bit of a different layer. If you want, this thing I love about these is if you need a new texture someplace or something really kind of funky, this is great. So we're going to now go to, instead of using that square brush, we're going to come in with this like wonky, chaotic shape of glitter. And I'm just going to take that and just move it over these high areas to get rid of that square. Because we're using that square glitter brush. And it's just you can kind of see what it's doing. I'll show you here in a second. All right. But yeah, you see all these? It looks like there's some kind of weird growths on these mountains. It's not what we're after. We want something a little bit different. But yeah, and if you really get in there, yeah, we're getting some good stuff there. Okay. We're going to go back to, once we've got our placement of mass, we're going to go and blur it out. This one I'm going to go 250. We'll start there to play with it, and I'm going to be very, very gentle with these. Not do much dither, so let's go ahead and up this. There we go. So what I've done is I'm going on to these, and I'm just blending the top of it, and it's pulling the paint and the color, pulling those deep shadows out of there, and making it just wrap, like right there. That's what we want right there. That kind of color gradient. Again, I put I go light, then grab kind of a darker color. And it's just because it's that, well, it's not really color, it's that blur that's doing that. It's also on these ridge lines, creating this really, really cool ridge line, like right there. You got that really neat canyon that you can go down and, I don't know, put horrible monsters all over through it and give some of your characters PTSD. There you go, a little bit more there. I'm using my mouse right now because I'm getting I want it to be very much consistent. See right there? Blend that color out. The alpha channel that's locked, the alpha meaning there's a transparency gradient. It's going to do most of our work for us right there. There we go. That's also going to get rid of those dark shadows. We'll go in and color these a little bit more, a little bit better. Because right now we're just taking care of the shape of this world, nothing more. It's also giving us ideas on where stuff is. We're definitely keeping our notes. I am just loving that. That's giving me, the nice thing about this is you can actually go in and find an area that you're working with and find the mountains per scale of what you're working with. And once you have that, you can dial in the correct mountain sizes consistently with those alpha brushes. So you're not worried, like right here, I don't know how big that is, but these guys are actual in the same veins of what you'd find out in the wild. And also I'm finding these little brushes like this, it's a lot faster to do it. This guy's a pain though. I don't like this guy. So we're just gonna race him a little bit like that. Blur that up, and there we have a crater. Yay! Same thing over here. And I'm working my mouse so I have a consistent blur. Cool. All right, we're gonna smush everything together. I'm really liking this. I'm very happy with this effect. So we're going to use this effect now, and we're going to give a big thumbs up to that, and we'll start the next process on these. So this guy's, I'm just going to kind of commit to this. We'll keep this other layer here, but this one I'm gonna commit. Again, you can do both. You can do this alpha thing. I'm getting a very cool, let's say this guy here. Now don't freak out, this is going to look bad. But you can see how I'm getting this natural texture and it's blending with the other one under it. I really kind of like that. Stuff like that. Let's actually play with that for a little bit. But unlock the transparency. Come in with a heart the chaos. Excuse me. 150. shape that like that. That way I can control it. I don't know if I like that though. Let's just keep going. I'm liking what we got. Again, we're throwing around files here that are like 250 meg, 500 meg, stuff like that. Okay, where are we at? We're here, we're here, we're here, we're good. All right, we're going to take this layer and we're just going to plop it on this one, and looks great. Looks great. If it doesn't, well, oh well. Again, make sure that you have set your blend level at add, not maximum, not replace, but additive. So whatever is on top of the layer adds to the layer underneath it. Otherwise, this is not going to look good. And if you did things right, it should look like that. Now we can go in and blend these together a little bit. There's a couple places I'm looking, like right here, you got these kind of barnacle hills. I'm going to bump this up to 250. I'm going to just kind of play with this and kind of blend it with my harsh chaos. I'm definitely staying away from the peaks because I really like those peaks, but I'm just going in there. Got a lot of brush options. Mess around with them. Tell me what you like. Tell me what works. I use the hard way. I use the harsh chaos because I know exactly what it's going to do and how it's going to do it. And again, you can mess with the dip spread. And actually, that's not a bad idea because I'm really liking that. Get a new texture on everything. Right now, we're just looking at these little crazy growths. They look, a lot of them look the same, so we're going to get away from those. Just kind of pare them down a little. Probably should have used a couple of different alphas instead of just the two. Yeah, like right here. This guy's trouble. Again, choose your tack, choose the different path. Circle for blending, back and forth for texture. Same thing up there, same thing up there. I love these mounds here though. My gosh, I love those. As we go on, I wonder if we can start coloring. Let's get rid of that. So I should change the spread around. There we go. More spread, more smooth. But it moves a lot more paint. So just heads up. Yeah, see? That's doing what we needed to. These mountains kind of have this old, kind of barky, knobby feel to them that I'm really liking. Just kind of sneaking up on them. Yeah, this guy here. Here we go. Just like that. Keeping our concept in mind. Don't go too nuts with them. So this is our windmill area. Now we got something similar here, and that's, I'm going to have to make a hard choice. And my choices go with this one, so I'm just going to drop the harsh chaos like that. Yeah, it just makes me sad because I really like that. Well, just break those up a little more. What I'm going to do later this week, if I get some time, I'm going to go in and I'm going to create a series of brushes. One for like alpine, one for, peaks, one for deserts of these brushes, and then play around with them and see exactly what I can get off those. All right. I'm digging this. I'm really digging this. Cool. Let's go in really close and look at that. Yeah, we're getting some really cool stuff here. You know what? At this point, I'm just going to go ahead and do this right now. I'm going to go up to 450. Excuse me. Switch, reset, go into 450 with this. We're going to do the coasts. Because this is good enough that I'm going to keep it, the texture, and then we'll do rivers last. I'm just going to run my harsh chaos. I'm starting the middle of it. You can see my cursor. I'm starting the middle of that and running it all the way up coastline. And this is just the basic setting. I'm getting these really cool ridges, and it's actually making it look like coastline. And this brush, this step of it, you're going to be destructive, and that's okay. You want to be destructive with this because it's, you know, it's Mother Water coming in. You pay attention when she walks into your house. And if you'll notice, I'm getting this really cool little, yeah, get in there and you actually start seeing that blend stuff in there. And we're going to take the same blending when we do the rivers and run those up into the mountains so we get the exact same kind of pattern. There, there. There we go. And who knows? We might even have a volcano or two showing up. Because I owe someone a magma place. Magma. Magmar. But I'm definitely, if you're in an area where it's a lot drier, you don't want to be going that far into this. But this I'm going nuts with. I'm getting a very strong effect down here that I like. Up to the north, I'm not going to do this since it's a lot hotter. But like down here, oh yeah, we're talking fjords and everything else like that. Also, something you can also do at this point is you can unlock the transparency. And based on these little finger things that are going on, you get in there and you just rip those suckers apart. Yeah, if you can't tell, I'm really excited. I'm really happy this turned out this well. Made a lot of videos with going, you know, with the detailed little mountains and stuff, but I'm really, personally, I'm digging this. If you guys want to see something else, let me know. But me as an artist, yeah, I guess I'm not an artist. But me as the person doing this, I'm really digging these little brushes that Drive Through RPG's made, and not Drive Through, but Online Tabletop's made, and he's taught me how to make. I'm really, really, really liking where this is going with these. It's doing a very, very cool compilation. All right, got about 5 minutes left in the stream. I'm almost tempted to just keep the color the way it is and just fill in what I need to. I'm actually really digging this. So when we're about right here, you can actually kind of see, and we're going to back some of these up into rivers so it doesn't, you know, it doesn't look like this whole cookie cutter. We'll dial it back and dial it from, but you basically get the idea. Oh, don't like that guy right there. Let's get rid of that. Need that guy too. In the smooth area, we just kind of want to be a little relaxful. Move the mouse really slow, let it cut into the. There we go. You will be this method. You will be destructive on some of your details, but you'll get a lot more out of your details if you don't fear it. Again, double your layers. All right. Yeah, I'm liking the 450, 400. There we go. But I think the main effect on this, it goes from a very much, oh man, I'm getting that jitter. Don't know why it does that. I think that's underneath it. But when you go from a very detailed, since we're going very detailed to a very light, a very detailed to smaller details, and then you hit it with a big old detail like this, get some really good effects, like right here. We're just like, ah, yeah. We have plateaus. Okay. Usually at this point, I'm just, before I do rivers or anything like that, I usually, okay, please don't. I'm a little afraid to do that. So we're going to delete this one under here. Just, this is when I get nervous on stuff. This is when I get real nervous on saving stuff. Okay. And this guy, I'm going to duplicate this. Actually, I'm going to clean out some of these other layers. I'm going to keep 2 of these planning layers. But every time I delete one of these, you know, I'm losing about 100 to 400 megs of data. Okay, so we just got these 3 layers. I'm going to save this. We're going to save this as a different file. Actually, I'm going to show you guys this first. I'll save it while people are away. Going back to our base color. This is what I usually do, but I think I'm just going to keep this as is. Maybe just kind of, let's get a little more brown into that. No, too much brown. No, that sucks. But I'd usually at this point go in here and I would paint everything one solid color. As such, and then I'd go in and retouch everything. However, with how this is, again, you can see the different, you got these high mountains that come down into these lower areas and stuff like that. However, with this map, let's just clean some of this out. It's kind of got the sandstone thing going on. I'm going to need to change that, but that's really simple to do. Just go in and add black or white to it, like that. Drop your opacity and pressure. You can go in and you see right now I'm changing this into more granite than a sandstone in this area. And just kind of another really quick way to color stuff. But I will do that next episode because we're at 3 o'clock right now. So 2 hours, not bad. Digging this technique. Let me know what you guys think about this. Should I continue with this or should I do traditional at this point? What I've always done. But again, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always be what you've ever been. Just going to fix this up over here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Love that big brush. Okay. Just beat the devil out of it, as Mr. Ross said. Gunny Sergeant Ross. Not Gunny Sergeant, but Drill Sergeant Bob Ross. All right. We've got a lot done today. We've got our big mountains in. We've got a really good idea of where stuff is. We're getting this really cool effect down here that I'm really liking. And I think we're just going to keep that. The texture, we got big mountains. Next part of this, we'll go in and we'll do the rivers and really get into the color and really start placing stuff for final touches. And yeah, I'm loving this. Okay, cool. Very, very cool. Again, my name's Dan. This is All About Novus. This is I believe, our 4th map of this size that we're doing. So come back, check it out, see us again. And questions, comments, likes, please, for mercy, go drop it down there. Visit us at allaboutnovus.com. Check us out on Facebook, All About Novus. Check out our community, which is awesome. And I'll talk to you soon. And I hope you guys all have a great day. And I'll be streaming definitely this next Monday and Wednesday. If I get time on Friday, I'm probably going to stream. I shouldn't promise anything because every time I say that, the world ends. So we'll just go from there. Thanks so much for coming by and have a great day.